Dear students, welcome to BioDio. In today's video, we are going to discuss the Neet 2020 question paper unit by unit. Okay. In today's class, we are going to study or we are going to analyze the first unit questions. You know, the first unit comprises of 4 chapters: the living world, biological classification, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Okay. So in these 4 chapters, from first chapter, that means from the living world, there were no questions in this year, in 2020. So from the remaining 3 chapters, 8 questions were asked. So we are going to discuss one by one. Okay. Now this is the first question. Which of the following is correct about viroids? Which of the following statement is correct about viroids? So we have to find out which is the correct statement. Correct statement about viroids. Actually, what are viroids? Viroids are virus-like. Oid mean like. Okay. So they are virus-like in nature. They are virus-like. What is the speciality of a virus? The body structure of a virus, it is having an outer covering. The outer covering is called capsid. The capsid is made up of protein, and the units of capsids are called capsomeres. Now inside the capsid, you can see there is a genetic material. The genetic material may be either RNA or DNA. If it is DNA, the virus is called DNA virus, and if it is RNA, the virus is called RNA virus. And the viruses are mainly pathogenic, isn't it? They are causing so many type of diseases. So here there is an organism, there is a chemical which is very much similar to virus, causing a particular type of disease, but its structure is something like virus. That means it is only a genetic material. The genetic material is called RNA. It is a naked RNA. That means the covering or the capsid is absent. It is an RNA of low molecular weight. RNA of low molecular weight causing a particular type of disease. The disease is called potato spindle tuber disease. Okay. So this type of a infective agent is called viroid, and this viroid was first of all discovered by T.O. Dainer in the year 1971. So viroids are virus-like pathogenic agents. They have a low molecular weight RNA without a covering called a capsid. Okay. So we can see the choices. They have DNA with the protein coat. That is applicable for a DNA virus. So that is wrong. They have free DNA without a protein coat. That is also not applicable. They have RNA with the protein coat. RNA with the protein coat means RNA virus. That is also not applicable. So answer for the first question is they have free RNA without protein coat. So that is the answer. Okay. So viroids are RNA molecules, infective RNA molecules discovered by Dainer in the year 1971, and they are causing diseases in plants. And an example for a disease is what? Potato spindle tuber disease. Okay. Now we can see the second question. From biological classification, only 1 questions were there in 2020. But from plant kingdom, the second question is from plant kingdom. From plant kingdom, there were 3 questions. The first question: which of the following pairs is of unicellular algae? So the names of some algae are given: Anabina and Volvox, Chlorella and Spirulina, Laminaria and Sargassum, Gelidium and Gracilaria. We can see one by one. Here the answer of unicellular algae, actually Anabina and Volvox are unicellular. Anabina is a nitrogen fixing cyanobacterium, and Volvox is actually a colony. About 50,000 single cells are combined together forming a colony. So colonial algae, Volvox. So this is the answer. So what is chlorella and spirulina? We have studied that chlorella and spirulina are used as food supplement by space travelers. Space travelers, they are acting as food supplements. Laminaria and sargassum are edible algae. They are edible marine algae. Porphyra, laminaria, sargassum. Then Gelidium and Gracilaria, a very important example. These are producing a chemical called agar-agar. It's a nutrient medium. So Gelidium, Gracilaria producing agar-agar. Laminaria, sargassum and porphyra are actually edible. Chlorella and spirulina were used as food supplements by space travelers. So here the answer is Anabina and Volvox. Okay. Now from plant kingdom, the 3 questions were there. Now we can see the second question. This question is also regarding algae. When we are studying algae, algae has been classified depending upon their photosynthetic pigments into green algae, brown algae and red algae. Green algae are chlorophyceae, brown algae are phaeophyceae and red algae are rhodophyceae. Depending upon the type of the photosynthetic pigment that they are possessing, different algae are producing different types of food materials. The stored food materials are different. Green alga, the stored food material is starch. In brown alga, they store mannitol and laminarin. These are the stored products. In the case of red alga, they are storing a particular type of chemical. The chemical is called Floridian starch. Actually, Floridian starch, the question is regarding the Floridian starch. This is the stored product in the red algae. The structure is similar to amylopectin and glycogen. The structure of Floridian starch is very much similar to the structure of amylopectin and glycogen. Here, mannitol, laminarin are the stored product in brown algae. Cellulose is a cell wall material in green algae and brown algae. Then algin is also cellular cell wall composition in the case of brown algae. Then starch is the storage product in green algae. Cellulose is present in the cell wall of green algae and brown algae. So amylopectin and glycogen are having a peculiar structure, and the structure of Floridian starch is very much identical to this one. Okay. Strobili or cones are found in. It's an example based question. Strobili or cones. First of all, we can see what is meant by a strobilus. In the case of pteridophyta, in the case of some pteridophyta and gymnosperms, in the case of some pteridophyta and gymnosperms, you can see the reproductive structures, the spore forming structures are called sporangia, and the sporangia can be seen under the leaf. These are sporangia, and the sporangia are present under the surface of the leaf. Okay. So the sporangia bearing leaf is called sporophyll. The leaf is called sporophyll. And these rounded bodies present under the leaf are called sporangia. What is meant by sporangia? Sporangia is the area from where spores are produced. The spore producing region is called sporangium. So, in the case of some pteridophytes and in the case of gymnosperms, you can see that the spore producing leaves are called sporophylls. The sporophylls are arranged in an aggregated manner. They are arranged in the form of an aggregated structure, and this is called strobilus or cone. So all these are sporophylls. Sporophylls means sporangia bearing structures, and these are accumulated, forming a structure called cone or strobilus. This is what is called strobilus, otherwise called cone. So in the case of gymnosperms, there may be microsporangiate strobili, megasporangiate strobili, etc. But in the case of the given examples, here Mercantia is nothing but liverwort. Mercantia is liverwort coming from Bryophyta. All the other three are Pteridophyta. Equisetum, Salvinia, Pteris. All these are members from Pteridophyta. The Mercantia is a member of Bryophyta. It's actually liverwort. So here in the case of Mercantia, the conformation is absent. Their antheridium and archegonium are separate. So Mercantia cannot be the answer. Then Equisetum, Salvinia, Pteris. This kind of strobili formation is present in Selaginella and Equisetum. So among Pteridophyta, the conformation or strobili formation can be seen in Selaginella and Equisetum. These are the two examples given in your NCERT textbook. So from this, Equisetum will be the answer. In Salvinia or Pteris, the sporophylls are not at all aggregating, they are separate. So only the aggregation of sporophyll is what is called strobili or con. Clear? So these were the three questions from plant kingdom. Then we are going to animal kingdom. In animal kingdom, there were 4 questions, simple questions. First one, bilaterally symmetrical and acoelomate animals are exemplified by which phylum? Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes. So only 2 terms are given: bilaterally symmetrical, acoelomate. So regarding symmetry, the order of phyla is Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. All these are the different phyla under non-chordata. Okay. So in the case of Porifera, the majority of sponges or poriferans are having no symmetry. They are asymmetric. Then Cnidaria and Ctenophora, the members of Cnidaria and Ctenophora are having radial symmetry. Radial symmetry. Here some ctenophores are having a special type of symmetry called biradial symmetry. Anyway, these two are collectively called having radial symmetry. All others are having bilateral symmetry. There is an exception. In the case of Echinodermata, the larvae are bilaterally symmetric, but the adults are radially symmetric. There is an exception. So, bilateral symmetry starts from which phylum? Platyhelminthes. Okay, Platyhelminthes. That is character number 1. So, from these relationships of different types of members of phyla, we can score out Ctenophora. Ctenophora has a radial symmetry. Then Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Platyhelminthes. These were the choices. So all these 3 are having bilateral symmetry. Okay. Then comes a coelom. Coelom, in the case of Porifera, Pinacoderm and Choanoderm are the body layers. In the case of Cnidaria and Ctenophora, ectoderm and endoderm, that means they are diploblastic. Then the remaining, all bilaterally symmetric animals are having triploblastic condition. That means ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So mesoderm appears first in the phylum Platyhelminthes. So a cavity formed inside the mesoderm is called a coelom. So even though Platyhelminthes are having a mesoderm, the mesoderm is not processing a coelom. So Platyhelminthes are called acoelomates. They are called acoelomates. Then another special point is that in the case of Ashhelminthes, only in the case of Ashhelminthes, the coelom is a false coelom. That coelom is not originating from mesoderm. They are called pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelomates is applicable only for Ashhelminthes. Others are eucoelomates. Eucoelomate means they are having true coelom. Okay. So now the combination is bilateral symmetry and acoelomate condition. Bilateral symmetry and acoelomate condition combines in the phylum Platyhelminthes. So Platyhelminthes will be the answer. In the case of Aschelminthus, the coelom is pseudocoelom. In the case of Annelida, eucoelom is present. Okay. Now, so 4 questions were there in animal kingdom. This is the first question. Now we can see the second question. The second question from animal kingdom was a matching type of question. Some examples were given and their features. Gregarious polyphagous pest, adult with radial symmetry and larva with bilateral symmetry, booklungs bioluminescence. In the previous question we described that the adult with radial symmetry and larva having bilateral symmetry, that is phylum Echinodermata. Okay. So B. Here Asterias, Scorpion, Tinoplana, Locusta. Asterias is an echinodermate. So B1. All echinoderms are bilaterally symmetric in their larval condition and they become later converted into radial symmetry in the adult. So B1. So B1 means we can eliminate the first choice and we can eliminate the third choice also. Okay, B1. Now we can see booklungs. Booklungs are present in Scorpion. It's an arthropod. Booklungs are present in Scorpion. That means C2. C2. So C2 is coming in fourth choice. Okay. So now we can see bioluminescence. Bioluminescence means the ability to produce light. The examples of Ctenophora. That means Ctenoplana, D3. Then gregarious. Gregarious means the living in group, living in large groups. That is Locusta. Locusta. So answer is A4, B1, C2, D3. Okay. The third question from animal kingdom. Which of the following statements are true? We have to find out the true statement for the phylum Chordata, last phylum. In Urochordata, notochord extends from head to tail and it is present throughout their life. So in the case of Chordata, the body consists of a head region, trunk region and a tail region. This is the body. Here it is said that notochord is extending from head region, trunk region up to the tip of the tail region and that is present throughout their life. This condition is present in not in Urochordata but in Cephalochordata. In Cephalochordata, notochord is present inside the head, inside the trunk, inside the tail throughout the life. So the first choice is wrong. So we have to find out the combination of true statement. The first choice is wrong. So A is wrong. That means we can eliminate the fourth one and the first one. Isn't it? Fourth one and first one are having A. So A is gone. Now, in vertebrata, notochord is present during the embryonic period only. That is a correct statement. In the case of vertebrata, the embryonic condition is having notochord that is replaced by vertebral column in the adult. So what is the difference between notochord and vertebral column? Notochord means there is a single rod. But vertebral column means there is a multi-jointed skeleton. It consists of large numbers of pieces and these pieces are called vertebrae. So notochord is unjointed endoskeleton, vertebral column is multi-jointed endoskeleton, isn't it? So in the case of vertebrata, the notochord is embryonic, that is replaced by vertebral column in the adult. That is why they are called vertebrates. So there is a right statement in vertebrata, notochord is present during the embryonic period only. That means that is replaced by what? Vertebral column. So B is the right statement. So when B is the right statement, we can see that 2 is the right statement. 2 is the answer, isn't it? Why? The third choice D and C are, the third choice has no B. The B is the right statement here. Okay. Now we can see whether C is right or wrong. C, the central nervous system is dorsal and hollow. The central nervous system in the case of chordata are having a dorsally located nerve cord, dorsal, single, non-ganglionated. Non-ganglionated means they have no ganglia and that is located, single, dorsally located, non-ganglionated and that is hollow. This is the nature of nervous system in the case of chordates. In the case of non-chordates, the nervous system is ventrally located, double, ganglionated and solid. Solid means no interior cavity. So the C statement also is right. So B and C are right. The D choice, chordata is divided into 3 subphyla. That is right. Chordata is divided into 3. Hemichordata, tunicata and cephalochordata. Tunicata means urochordata. Urochordata, their body is having a covering called tunic made up of a chemical called tunicin. That is why they are called urochordates, are also called tunicata. Then cephalochordata. Then hemichordata is a phylum under non-chordata. Instead they have urochordata, cephalochordata and vertebrata. So here the D choice is also wrong. So the answer is B and C, that is the second statement. Okay. Now last question from animal kingdom. Again a matching type of question. So 4 examples were there and their features. 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits, heterocircle caudal fin, air bladder, poison sting. Heterocircle caudal fin. Heterocircle caudal fin means the tail fin is having a long upper lobe and a small lower lobe. The dorsal lobe is long, the ventral lobe is small. That is called heterocircle. Heterocircle caudal fin is present in cartilaginous fishes. That means cartilaginous fishes are chondrichthyes. Chondrichthyes are cartilaginous fishes. So B3. B3 means the answers, the 3 is the answer. Only 3 is, B3 is present in third choice. Again, air bladder. Air bladder or swim bladder is present only in bony fishes. Bony fishes are osteichthyes. C4. Poison sting. You see poison sting is present in what? Trigon. Then 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits is present in cyclostomes. Cyclostome means they have a round mouth, the upper and lower jaw are absent, isn't it? Cyclostomes, they have 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits. In the case of cartilaginous fishes, 5 pairs of gill slits. In the case of bony fishes, 4 pairs of gill slits are there. But in the bony fishes, the gill slits are covered also. So the right answer is third one. It's a simple question. So these are the 8 questions from the unit 1 in the year 2020. Okay. In the next video, we can see the questions from the second unit. Thank you.